Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. As usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything. Politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, any issue trending, any topical issue of the day, we deal with it. We fear no subject matter. And you can pick up the telephone and call. The number to call is 442-0175. We're on RealFM, YouTube, Facebook, Greens News. We encourage you to share our program and like it. If you don't like it, still share it. See if the people you send it to do not like it. And we generally believe that we could solve the problem in our country. None of us may have the answer, but if we come together, if we discuss the issue, if we show tolerance and respect for one another, we could definitely address our challenges. Sometimes I think life is just like climbing up Mount St. Catherine. It's a challenge to go up. Sometimes you're pulling up people, and sometimes they're pushing you up. When you reach Mount St. Catherine, there is nothing more. So life is a challenge. We must accept that challenge, and we must work together to solve the problem. As usual, while we wait on you, we start up by asking our brothers in the diaspora some questions. We realize that our brothers in the diaspora seems to have more power, more influence on this present regime than we in Grenada. The government has put serious emphasis on the 16th constituency. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good day.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Yeah, the more I listen to the press conference, the more I come to the conclusion that Andalus set up. Because watching there, I think Andalus journey when you see we just rush into it and we have to public sovereignty. So I believe I see he's some kind of journey, but he didn't know he was set up. I think they can't trick him. And he didn't know that. But I have to blame him too because he almost 40 years in politics. A man no go wrong and make that man con you just so. Just how after Green Young get con because they get con by too many and they are conning in him. He con and con wale. That's too many conning in him and so they end up con them Green Young promise them permanent worker. But right now I hear they talking about the pension reform. I can remember with time when the past administration say reform, the union they are treated long protesting about the reform, you know. But today they mention about trying to have some forum about the reform and up to the area union say a war nothing because that time the past administration just talk about it and the protest about no give us 1948 law whatever they say give us that we want me money. No, this government say reform no and right now everybody just remain silent reform. I don't like. I people must be consistent. You don't care about side. Consistency is important when confronting the union. They have to be consistent. Because if you attack the other government for that one come and say the same thing the other one saying, and say nah you can't let me and let's protest to the street. No, that one saying the same thing, and then it's just a normality. I don't know something wrong with German. Something wrong with us. Take care, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, I agree with you. I think Mr. Andal got set up. I thought he was genuine. I thought he evoked even some revolutionary spirit when he was speaking. But I believe Deacon was well aware that he had authorized the ambassador to sign the document, irrespective of the concern expressed by Mr. Andal. Mr. Andal get tricked. He gets shaft. Deacon shuffle. I believe that. And yes, on the pension issue, the unions have to be consistent. The unions have to be proactive. And the unions have to genuinely try to solve the problem in Grenada. You see, Grenadians and both political parties and the union was responsible for that. They didn't explain the pension issue to the Grenadian people. So they believe retroactive pay going to settle the issue. No. He can't settle the issue. And Deacon went inside there and he got the money to pay the retroactive. And he did that. And the union knew we were postponing the challenge ahead. The pension issue is a big issue. You know. It's a big issue. And it is sad that the union did not explain the pension issue and come up with genuine proposal. I have always advocated that unions have to come up with proposals to solve problems. Even if you demonstrating in the street, you must put suggestions on the table that is reasonable, practical, and workable. Every time the economy is in trouble, the workers is affected. Our workers under the first NNP were retrenched, Mr. Blaisdell. All workers under the NDC lost jobs, lost pay, and the NDC cut social program and introduced the debt service levy. Under the NNP, it is the first time that you had an IMF policy when no one lost their job and they increased social spending. It was a new template established in the Caribbean after the IMF came from Greece. Barbados Union begged the government then to try the Grenadian model. They didn't, and that contributed to them losing all the seats. So the Grenadian model was a new model engineered by the government and the technical people and the team on the table. So Deacon Mitchell's outrageous lying promises is turning back the hand of the clock. That is why the Minister of Labor said we could cause serious problem. We could cause irreparable problem to the economy. And the unions need to take a more proactive issue on that. I see how they jump quite in Palestine, supporting Palestinians against Israel. I would have liked to hear them give justification and rationale for the position. I would have liked to hear them tell the public that in 2005, Israel moved from Gaza. They raised the Israelis that didn't want to come, kicking. They raised them out, and they dig up their graves and go with the bones of the dead ones. And within 48 hours, every synagogue was on fire. The Palestinians destroyed even the greenhouse that Israel left behind for them to continue functioning. The level of hate that exists among these people for the Israelis and for Christians. TUC must let Grenadians know that the Muslims consider Christians and Jews as infidels. And they say convert or die. Grenadians must understand evangelical Christians, Pentecostal Christians, and Adventist Christians. They don't mind when this thing happens. In fact, I believe they're glad because they could tell the people, God coming now, come in the church. These people are constantly looking for the end of the world. So when these things happen, they don't mind because they could argue to the people and say, look at what is happening, God coming. Children making children. People find guns in the street. Man married in man. Woman married in group of people. God coming. So don't expect evangelicals. Don't expect Pentecostals. And don't expect Adventist Christians to be perturbed. In fact, I believe they're glad when these things is taking place because they could have enough reason to convince their members to come in the church. No Catholics, Anglicans, Lutherans. These religions, they believe that in the last days, people will leave the church. So when you see a Catholic or Anglican church almost empty, the Poto Leglis in the church don't bother him. They say in the end of time, they go leave the church and run in the mountain. So they want when God come, them alone they in the church. Some of them women don't even want a man to come to church. The woman say the amount of trouble she man giving her, she don't want him going heaven. So the day in the church, they're not evangelizing. They sit down praying in the church and they want God to come. Because they want the world end. In addition to that, you have to understand, we had a Marxist, Leninist, socialist group in Grenada. So we have a lot of atheists in Grenada. They're quiet. And they believe religion is the opium of the people. So they don't believe in religion. For political expediency, they shut them out. So even if they're going to church, they don't really believe in Christianity. This is the environment we exist in. And while we're doing that, the homosexuals and people with sexual alternative lifestyle, they are strong negotiators. And they have infiltrated all aspects of the European Union. So when the European Union signed the agreement, they just have to give our leaders our money. Our leaders sometimes behave like prostitutes. Once they get our money, they sell out the people. That is why I don't care about reparation. The black man been selling slaves for over 700 years before the European gone by. The black man like to sell the people. Now they're going around as if them is victim looking for reparation money. And don't believe when they get the money, it's going to reach to the lower income group. Look at what this present government is doing. This present government win election on a platter. They meet an economy that was trying, that was good. And when you say the economy in Grenada is good, you must put it in perspective. Because we're in the third world. And in the Caribbean, we are considered as the less developed countries, the LDCs. So even if the economy in Grenada is doing well, it is doing well in the third world and in the less developed countries. But this government won 9 seats. The money they met in the treasury shocked them. And they're behaving like never see, come see. As children that didn't expect. You know you're not accustomed with money and you get money. So they're traveling all over the world as if it's a joke. They listen to the Prince of Hate and the motivator. They consider some of the people as nasty people and classless. And they are hostile to people in the lower income group. That is the environment that exists now, as far as I see it. The government set up a ministry, MIT, mobilization, implementation, and transformation. The Prime Minister said, we campaign on a policy of transformation, but it is not so much transformation, it is restorative justice. I want my brothers and sisters in the diaspora to ask the Prime Minister or any of the NDC Gala export next time you meet them to justify MIT. Ask them how much money they put in that ministry and what is the purpose of mobilization in a democratic country in a two-party state. Ask them, why restorative justice? You see, the Prime Minister of Grenada is a lawyer. So words is important. And he is a corporate lawyer. So words is even more important than a defense attorney or a criminal lawyer. It's words, it's not emotion. It's not passion. The words is important. That is why when the Prime Minister wanted to use obscenities, he turned the mic to the crowd. So you can't say it's he that used it. This is the Prime Minister we have. This is why he turned the question to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Although he was well aware that he had already instructed the ambassador to vote against the wishes of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. That is what we're dealing with. I call on my brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Next time you have an opportunity in a gala, ask the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dickon Mitchell, or any of the gala experts that you see about Shirley and Robinson. Ask them that name, about Shirley and Robinson. You see, she's an interesting case. When she called on the radio, the NDC warriors challenge us. They say it's noise they're making in the knot. So she gave her number and her name. And she challenged them to investigate her case. I too call on the Ministry of Social Affairs and the Ministry of Health to investigate the case of Shirley and Robinson. She said they believe she's an NNP, but she liked to listen to the station. So they always hear she radio on that station. So MIT believes she's an NNP. I call on the brothers and sisters in the diaspora. The next time you go in a gala, ask Dickon Mitchell or any of the gala experts from Grenada that come up about Shirley and Robinson. I was going through some of the pictures of the people who attend the gala with the expensive clothes. And I identified 2 members of Shirley and Robinson family in those gala. I appeal to you to ask Dickon the question. I don't know if MIT is part of the political mischief that is being exercised against the sister. I had to visit her yesterday. I didn't want to visit her. I wanted the Ministry of Social Affairs to visit her. I wanted the minister to visit her. But I know MIT visit her. They know her well. But I admire her spirit. She reminds me of the great pioneers. She reminds me of Baby Bascom on the Ganga River. She reminds me of Lady Maury from St. James. Those women that stood up. When men crumbled, they stood up. She reminds me of the women from Boulogne who scrambled their husband on the ground because the overseer wanted them to work on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. And the men decided they wouldn't work. And they got verbal. So the wife scrambled them on the ground and barred them out to remind them we're living in the barracks. Where are our children going to live? She reminds me of these heroes. She reminds me of that tall woman in Grenville. I think she was Miss Jennifer. She reminds me of Sousin that used to sell set that tell the magistrate, Dias put it in my ass today. She reminds me of Tilita. Those were the heroes in the community. Some of them never been to school, but they stood up for the community. Shirley and Robinson. is standing up for a number of people's name. We cannot call it on the radio. Because some of the relatives say, no, they're going to fire us. Don't call our name. Shirley and Robinson represent that. So I could only turn to the people in the gala. Those of you who dress in your nice dandan to go and see the kakistocracy that we have in Grenada. The worst group of politicians we ever had in Grenada post 1967. As I go back in history, these 9 members of the government is the worst group post 1967. All other leaders that passed, just under 2 years, I am convinced that this group of politicians we have is the worst group of politicians that passed. You, the members in the gala, in the diaspora, when we were complaining that Maurice Bishop was jailing people without charge, without trial, or without an opportunity to defend themselves, you never supported us. When Maurice Bishop landed in America, he was a hero. 3,000 Grenadians was in jail. And if you don't believe me, ask the ex-Prime Minister Tillman Thomas. He could give you the exact number. You notice I ain't saying 4,000 like Michael Baptiste. I'm saying 3,000 plus. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, my brother, welcome.
You say that the NDC is the worst group of politicians passing Grenada.
Post 1967, the worst group. You want to know why I say them is the worst? I could advance 21 reasons why I think them is the worst group.
Mr. Pierre?
Go ahead, my brother.
And 5 months going. Kitmija had 9 years. And he had done nothing in that 9 years. In that 9 years, he used over $60 million from the British fund. So, after 9 years, Kitmija devastated the marketing board. Over $50 million they're taking the marketing board. Kitmija and a group of them. This present government, they have to pay $15 million. They scheduled $5 million already. And they pay the other $10 million. They pay everybody what they owe, except the bank. And if I go, Kitmija is the worst Prime Minister ever passing here. That is the only Prime Minister passing here. Will take $21 million and get a man to go speak. You must say he build a hotel in Manhattan. He fool Kitmija. He make Kitmija like a baby.
Okay, thank you, caller. Yes, thank you, caller. You see, this government, the 9 members of the National Democratic Congress, every time I look at them with contempt. There is no economic justification for the attack on the people in the lower income group, including Shirley and Robinson. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, sir, how you doing?
Yes, my brother.
I am somewhat saddened, if I must say, by some of the actions that have been taken by this present administration. I must say, excuse my ignorance, because some people may not see the views and may not understand my point of views. And I want people to respect my way of analyzing stuff. But Mr. Pierre, I'm speaking from a youth perspective because I'm in my 30s, very early 30s. And I'm speaking from a youth perspective, right? And I've been listening to this present administration, especially the Prime Minister, Foreign Affairs Minister, and so forth. And I'm calling on the Grenadian youth, 65% of Grenadian youths, right? Because Grenada is actually made up of 65% of youths. Whilst we are not going to neglect the fact that, yes, the other percentage is as important as the youths, I am calling and I'm urging the youths to start listen to all what this present administration is saying. Just don't listen, but also look at the present situation. Mr. Pierre, as a youth, I could recall vividly clear hearing the Prime Minister making statements of such as, we're going to get certain information are going to be on a need-to-know basis. Mr. Pierre, when I heard that, it puts me in a position to start opening my eyes and watch a bit more. Because how you could tell me that you are dealing with the country's affairs, right? You are not running your personal business. You are running and operating. You are dealing with internal affairs of a country. And you are saying that information are going to be made on a need-to-know basis. This is a problem. I also want to go further into my conversation to say that when the Prime Minister made statements that he is going to run the country with a difference, we had to analyze the word difference, right? Because we see the difference is mediocrity, incompetence, no-brainer, and they continue to behave as though the Grenadian population is as dumb. All right, is as dumb. For example, again, I want to touch on the issue of the Samora bill, of the Samora agreement. You are telling us one the very day, and this is a blatant lie to the country. You are telling us one. While you are telling us one, you have the ambassador who goes by the name of Mr. Raphael signing agreement. Yeah? And then when asked about this, you are saying that you have not read a document. Who are you trying to fool? How could you tell me that you have not read a document, but signing took place? No, I am saying from a youthful perspective, I believe that the leaders that are in charge or responsible for that bill, they all should send in the resignation. This is not running a selfish shop, you know, Mr. Pierre. In a selfish shop. This is dealing with issues of the country. This is of national interest. Yeah? And I refuse to sit idle by and pretend like nothing happening in this country. And I want to tell Grenadians that as much as some of us may say that we are not in support of the present administration, the present administration is not giving us anything to work with to say, you know what, let me support them. Many people might see the Prime Minister traveling ever so often. He's trying to build a base in the diaspora. That is what a lot of us know. You're trying to build a base in the diaspora because he already know that you have lost so much of foreign in Grenada and in Carriacou and Petit Martinique as well. I think, personally, it's in the making for me. I believe that a peaceful protest should be upheld, making these people know that the people in Grenada that is not stupid as they think many Grenadians are. Mr. Pierre, this is just my small contribution.
Yes, my friend, we want to tell people one of the things we are doing now is informing the public. And an informed public would make informed decision. Please press the like and share sign. Number of people watching, press like and share. That is one of the ways in which you pass on information. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. Right, so press the like and share position. I call upon the ordinary man. You need to ask these people if they would sign a document without reading it. Yes, caller, welcome.
Sir. Hello?
Yes, go right ahead, caller. You live and well, punch.
Well, sir, the victimization in Grenada.
Don't listen to the background noise. Just speak. We're hearing you.
Because, for example, say, I want to call Mr. Pierre, want to call Master Carl, but so I don't know something like the revolution. If you have a one-man rule in the country, I think that the revolution will have hunger. You're going to jail. But I want to call, but afraid I won't get a 10 days. So what Grenada is turning to? Something has to be wrong. The compensation at its high state. The other thing, I want to want NMP rights. I heard activists of the NDP and support of it run them out and tell us about leadership. This is not the content. This is out of order. That's NNP business. You cannot tell them who should be. Some of them come and say, we could lose again, but I'll not get back. Dr. Mitchell will know when it's time to go because he is one of the greatest leaders whatever passed after history. I believe they're afraid of him. That's why they don't want him around. But I tell NNP, you cannot talk that nonsense to me about get a leader. We have a leader party. They cannot tell us when to get a leader. So NDC was pushing that negative word on the ground. I don't know if you agree with me.
But caller, in all fairness, when you're in politics, it's fair game. So nothing is wrong in members who support the NDC challenging Dr. Mitchell. Nothing is wrong with that. You can't eat your cake and have it. You want to challenge Deacon, they could challenge Dr. Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell has been around long. He's one of the most criticized leaders in Grenada, and he has not been vindictive and vengeful against criticism. So we must be tolerant to criticism. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, sister.
Mr. Pierre, in growing up, I heard my parents and my grandparents say the lie that look as the truth is the worst kind of lie. Mr. Pierre, during the election campaign, we know and we heard that the PM would have said a lot of things during the campaign, made a lot of promises. And after the election, when he was elected as Prime Minister, he turned around and saying something totally different. Mr. Pierre, I want you to take a good look at this one, what I'm coming with. The Prime Minister went in St. Lucia on in a political campaign. And on the platform, he told the St. Lucians, I'm not making up that, the clip is there to prove it. He told the St. Lucians that they must vote for people living in St. Lucia. I don't know if you heard it, Mr. Pierre, but the Prime Minister was in an interview with a journalist. And when asked the question, the Prime Minister said he tell the St. Lucians to vote for St. Lucians. My God, Lord have his mercy on our PM. If I was doubtful of anything he would have said prior to the election, that one now stands out, Mr. Pierre. He told them to vote for people living in St. Lucia. When he asked the question, he said he told them to vote for St. Lucian's. Mr. Josie Fandal and Mr. Raphael in Belgium, I think what you all should do, the honest thing you all should do, is just step down, resign.
You will never see
You
that.
all have a heart, you all have a conscience.
Yeah, you won't see that happen.
So if they want to stay there and allow the PM to lie on them, well, I'm sorry for them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for them. Okay, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, I don't think, I don't sorry for them and they don't sorry for themselves. They're traveling and they're using the government time and the traveling as an excuse to make money. Yes, caller, welcome. Punch.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, man.
Yeah, morning, and say morning to Andrew down and Mr. Pierre, and say morning to each and everyone at Paradise.
Yes, thank you very much.
Grenada. Right, and first and for all, I want to say, well, this coming Wednesday, we want to invite and ask everybody that we having a get-together and a nice little party at Graves that is going up for Career, which is this Saturday. I feel Saturday the 2nd. I don't know if I'm getting it right, but I feel Saturday the 2nd. So we're asking each and everybody, you understand, we have tickets and things out.
Run an advertisement with me. Let me give a good promotion, man. Contact me and run an advertisement with me.
Oh, Mr. Pierre, it's not about like we coming and like wind up on one another.
But it doesn't matter. Run an advertisement with me. And let me give a good promo on the radio.
Right, I will do that.
Shout me and give me a thing and run an advertisement with me. We won't charge you much. We will be reasonable.
All right, Mr. Pierre, I don't have plenty credit. Next
yes,
one.
Thank you very much.
All right, I just want to say thanks very, very much to Miss Kate Skita Lewis in Paradise, the Cocoa and the whole surrounding area, she constituents. Mr. Pierre, I from Paradise close to Simon, and that project what I see now going on in Simon, which is the Simon Cultural Center, the Pavilion. If it wasn't for NNP and Miss Kate Skita Lewis, Mr. Pierre, I would have never been seeing that project. Right now, that project is on a stream, and I just want to say, like, thumbs up to whosoever continuing it. But I just want to say big up and hats going out to Miss Kate Skita Lewis for starting this project for we the people in Simon, the surrounding area, and the rest. And last, I just want to invite each. So come out this Saturday, let we sit down and have a little chat, let we discuss about what's going on, and then we could have a little fun. This coming Saturday, the 2nd. Thank you very much, Mr. Pierre. May God be with you, may God be with that station. Thank you.
Good. And tell Kate, do abandon Kumande, Congo Tong, Tikolo, do abandon all villages in her communities. She must never abandon any. Yes, so I think it's very important for us to ask questions. Let's ask teachers, policemen, public servants, Calypsonians, businessmen, trade union leaders, and good roamers in the village. Ask them if they will sign a document without reading it. You see, we mustn't just believe things on social media. We must do research. We mustn't just say, because the Prime Minister is a lawyer, he's supposed to read it. Take up a little research. You're not doing research to write a thesis. You're doing research to understand the enormity of the problem we have. So ask any good Roma in your community. You know those good Romas, they talk in religion, politics, anything, particularly if people buy wrong. Ask trade union leaders. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, Punch.
The only solution I see for this Tagawa, I have to call it, is number 10 have to resign. Because if she has a conscience, things were going so smoothly in Grenada since she made that jump over for money. When I say money is good, you know, but the love of money is the root of all evil. And she will bring this on the country right now. So she has to resign, get herself out. And all those good-minded people who care about the country, the best thing for them to do is to separate themselves from this government.
All right, caller, thank you. You have to remember that the Prime Minister in Grenada was sold as a man with deep pockets and contacts. So if a man is sold to you that he have deep pockets, when you say a man have deep pocket, you mean he have plenty money and he have contacts. When you say a politician have contacts, he have plenty godfather. And if it is rumored that the National Democratic Congress was involved in paying $160,000 to snatch people vote after the people voted, you asking something, what you asking that you won't see happen. The National Democratic Congress took $2,000 as soon as they reached in government. The National Democratic Congress gave the teachers money that legally they did not have to give them. Nothing is wrong in giving them money. But here the justification the government stated for good relationship. That is tantamount to bribery. So the government seems to have a natural affinity to use money as a law. Look at what is going on with these galas. This individual is going on gala at government expense. Individuals that are ambassadors for the diaspora seems to be fundraisers for the National Democratic Congress. First time that happened post 67. Welcome, Color Punch.
Mr. Pierre, good evening.
Yes, Color Punch.
Mr. Pierre, I find that so fishy. They give you a document and you don't watch it to sign. I just go and get a little change in MoneyGram. And then they give me the piece of paper to sign. Mr. Pierre, I just watch the paper first before I sign the paper. So I don't see why an educated lawyer saying these things. Because
you have any good, Color, you have any good Roma in your village?
Any good Roma?
Rum drinker?
No, they don't good.
Alright, so they don't good.
No, they don't good. Because what I see now in my village, they don't good.
They don't buy in rum and they don't arguing.
No, what they just do now, like when they drink the rum now, and as soon as you talk, they just blinding you. That's what I see.
Well, you look as they're drinking Coke Cousin. You see, he have a rum they call Coke Cousin. He have one they call Confusion Rum. Yeah, so you have to stay away from these rumors.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So these people, I don't know.
But caller, ask any extension officer, any teacher, any policeman, any person that working in a good business, if they go sign document without reading it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. And I just tell you when I go to collect my little change and they give me the piece of paper to sign. Mr. Pierre, look at it first before I sign it.
Well, you need to ask people if they're going to do it.
Well, I have to ask people if they're going to do it. I want to ask people.
What we must do is to do research. Some people believe because they have a briefcase or certificate, everybody else stupidity.
No, but Mr. Pierre, them children right now that pass and go in Tam CC, they really educate than the liar, the Grenadian people put.
If you have children in school, you have children in school?
Mr. Pierre, I have 2 grandchildren. They had 16 years.
Ask them, caller, this evening ask them if they go sign paper without reading it.
Well, I'm just telling you, Mr. I have a 16-year-old. She has 5 ones. She gets 5 ones. And then I have a next 16-year-old. He gets 5 2s and a 1 and a 3. And I can never believe they're going to one.
Ask them. Sometimes they like Deacon. Ask them.
No, Mr. Pierre. They don't like.
Ask them. Sometimes they like Deacon.
Oh, God. Well, Mr. Pierre. Well,
sometimes it's a fake you have in your house and you don't know. Ask them.
Okay. Well, I will ask.
Sit down and ask them. Don't take nothing for granted.
No, well, I'm going to ask them if they're going to sign a document before.
Without signing it. Ask them.
Yes, I will ask them that.
Yeah, we can't take nothing for granted. Otherwise, we go buy cat in bag again. We have to ask questions. Not because a man pumping up his chest, walking like a turkey cock, and he say bright, doesn't mean he has sense. We have to ask questions. So we need to ask the teachers. And remember, particularly as teachers, because 70% of the children that exit school are not competitive on the job market. So in particular, as teachers, if they go sign document without reading it, color, punch. Yes, color, punch. Yes, well, it's important for us to ask. Now, when you do research, research is finding out, investigating. When you do research, it's not for you to write a paper, not for you to write an article on the newspaper, not for you to do exam. It's for you to have the courage of your conviction. I want us to start to ask questions. Ask a policeman. Be respectful. Stop up on the road. You meet a policeman. Almost every village have policemen. Sometimes they don't have uniform on them. Ask them if they're going to sign document without reading it. Ask the teachers. Ask extension officers. Ask public officers. Ask nurses. Those calypsonians and them. As soon as they sing 2 songs, they turn Jamaican. They speak it like Jamaican. Ask them. Yes, caller, welcome. Punch.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, ma'am.
When someone goes to a police station and make a reporter, the officer takes the report, what will you say, the statement from the individual. At the end of the statement, the officer would ask the individual, would you like for me to read the statement for you, or would you like to read it for yourself? And in so doing, if you're reading it or I reading it out for you, you can make any correction to the statement, what maybe something you didn't remember or something I write and you didn't say it, you make any correction to it. When this is done, the person signs the statement. This is what happens.
You never speak to them old thief and them that always in police station. They say the police write their thing for themselves and he never read it for them. You know?
Well, it's obvious they will come up with some. They will come up with some.
They make it a nice excuse.
But yes,
but you're correct. You're correct.
You tell the officer.
You
tell the officer what happens.
You're correct.
He record it.
Yeah.
And he asks you if you would want him or her to read it out for you, or you read it for yourself. And in so doing, you can make any corrections therein. When you sign that statement, it is sealed. You sign to whatever is in that statement. That is it, Mr. Pierre.
And months this thing in Grenada, you know. Months the Prime Minister have it. Yes, caller, welcome. Punch.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
Do you hear about Notting Hill Carnival?
Notting Hill Carnival?
Yes.
Didn't I ask people to research Michael de Freitas? Next time, go and research him. Yeah, I read about it.
There is a gentleman in England, the person who started Notting Hill Carnival, who introduced Carnival to England. That man had to get an award. He's in a home presently, a prestige home in England. That home only deals with the rich, those celebrities, or how you call them.
Celebrities?
Right. That is the only people that are in that home. And the man had to get an award. The Prime Minister went up and had this gala. And the same time, that is the last gala there, that the gentleman had to get the award. He cannot go because he has to use a wheelchair. So he asked if he can get one of the caregivers to take him there. The Prime Minister's response was, anyone coming there with him has to pay their passage to come. In turn, the people in the home ask him, they give him the invitation now because they cannot pay for the caregiver to go over there. Ask him to come over to the home. He refused. He said he didn't come there for that. He refused to go to give the man the award in the home. And the man is a Grenadian. who did that, who started that. You know how good that would have been? And he like to pose and take out pictures. Yeah, a friend of mine, some grand right, have a picture with him. If you go and you do that, you know how good that would have been, even for him? To attend, that alone is to tell you he don't care about it.
If the man could take out $150 of the elderly people, physically challenged and disadvantaged children, you think it's studied about people?
Yeah. I bet you for Dr. Kit Mitchell that got that offer, he would have got
You'd have loved to have that opportunity. Any member of the NNP.
I know the pictures still putting there and make billboards and all out of it.
All of them. Any one of them would have glad to go. Yeah. But that is what we're dealing with. And that is why our people supposed to be knowledgeable. We're supposed to be informed. Not because you don't have a university education. That does not mean you can seek information and you can be more knowledgeable. That is why I ask you, ask somebody. You're doing a research. Yes, caller, welcome. Punch.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
Mr. Pierre, well, I can understand how you could say you didn't read the paper and whatever. But, Mr. Pierre, as far as I see, like these people signed a death warrant, you know.
But you don't know what else they signed. It's not our death warrant.
Yes, the death warrant they signed.
You remember always asking who sent him? And I tell you he's a fake.
All right, he's a real fake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so we want people to start to ask people in the village. If you have a good Roma in the village, ask him if he's going to sign a document without reading. Ask a farmer, a good farmer, would you sign a document without reading? Watch them in the face when they unsign you. Ask a teacher, the teachers in particular. I want you to ask the teachers. Because 70% of the children that exit school cannot meet the minimum requirement. I'm always chastising the teachers for low productivity. Ask them if they're going to sign a document without reading. Ask a public servant. Ask a Calypsonian. They're always on contract and always complaining people trick them. And they're speaking like Jamaican. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, welcome. Punch.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother. Good, man. You will sign a document without reading it?
No, sir. Nothing like that.
We have to ask questions.
Mr. Pierre, three little things that are on my mind right now. Let me
Punch.
tell you. When the Prime Minister went to St. Lucia and he made the statement concerning the former Prime Minister of St. Lucia, he went to a party function, right? The NDC hierarchy is trying to put this as, oh, he was there as the leader of NDC and he wasn't speaking in his capacity as Prime Minister. Foolishness, right? But his message was, once you're not living in St. Lucia, you cannot vote in St. Lucia. And he was trying to imply that once you're born or you're living in St. Lucia, whatever he meant. But here you have the NDC cheerleaders telling the people in the diaspora, if your child is of Grenadian parentage, they can come here and get passport and register to vote in the next election. So you see the double standard. These people are not getting the facts straight, they're not getting the stories right, and they're just there for money. That's all I see. Secondly, number 10, when you look at what is transparent today with this Samoa document, this agreement, and you need 2/3 vote in the parliament to get all bills passed and stuff like that, things like that. Number 10 was strategically placed to do that. That, my friend, is an Achilles heel. That was done purposely. Look at it very closely. It was done purposely, right? Third and lastly, the ambassador to the diaspora affairs. Now, they may say all kinds of things about Dr. Mitchell, but I remember when this gentleman wanted a passport for him and his wife, and I think it was the passport he wanted, diplomat passport, and Dr. Mitchell at the time said that your wife is not a member of government, so he cannot give you that passport, which means he, as the Prime Minister of the country, would not go against the authority of the state and give you a passport because you're in the party. And that is good governance. But here you have the NDC with Dika Mitchell leading, giving any and everybody official passports, it's alleged, the passport, it's alleged, and you have people actually fundraising off of your party's name. That is very dangerous, and that's democracy at play right now. You can promote a party, but when you have people promoting hate, right, Mr. Pierre, we were called clowns for going to the National Stadium to
the National Democratic Congress endorsed those statements, including classless.
Mr. Pierre, I want to see next year. I want to see next year on the 7th. I want to see those clowns because I'll be in the stadium with my yellow and green and red, and I'll be taking the pictures with those same clowns who was talking about clowns previous years. Mr. Pierre, have a good afternoon.
And then you might understand mango on your plate. Yes. So as we come to the end of the program, I'm encouraging people to ask questions. Ask the teachers. Most of you would have access to a teacher, a policeman, an extension officer, calypsonian. Are you children in secondary school? Don't assume they know. Ask them if they're going to sign document without reading it. Ask them if they're going to sign document without reading it. Ask your children that come out in secondary school. Ask your primary school children, would you sign a document without reading it? That is important for the future of our country. Otherwise, we don't know who we sell. Always remember, we believe our enemies are the English or French or the Spanish or the capitalists or the neo-capitalists. No. We are the ones that control our destiny. We are the ones to address our challenges. And the leaders in the country is a reflection of us. So start asking your children if you're going to sign documents without reading it. And the people in the diaspora, next time you have a gala, ask about Shirley and Robertson. And I noticed relative of ours in gala, the funds you're raising in the gala is for NDC. Send a little thing, is Shirley and Robinson. Because this government is very hostile to people in the lower income group. They remove $150 from the elderly and the physically challenged. And they take out money from disadvantaged children. And as a result now, we have dropouts in National College because they don't have the means to pay the transportation to go down to St. George's. They don't have the means. And the government removed the money that they was getting from them. The government disadvantaged them. I asked the Minister of Education, how many children did you screw to pay tuition for those who could pay? We're back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1 when you have an opportunity to punch.